As global trade become more complex, logistics must become smarter, faster, and greener. From shipping delays to climate concern, the pressure to innovate is rising. In this special report, we explore sea and air intermodal transport, a strategy that blends speed and costs. How can this model Russia fit between East Asia and North America? Let's find out.
Good day and welcome to Global Transport News. I'm Chen Feng. Today we'll be taking a deep dive into the evolving world of international logistics with a focus on sea and air intermodal transport. Our team has reviewed a peer-reviewed article titled Sea and Air Intermodal Freight Transport in East Asia to North America, a cost-efficient perspective, by Ishiguro Ishihara and Takebayashi. With me today are four specialists who will help us unpack the key findings, agreement, critiques, and recommendations from this study.
Thanks, Chen Feng. Hi, I'm Hui Xin, and I focus on global supply chain risk and resilience.
Hi, I'm Get Hong. My area is sustainable logistics and cost efficiency.
Hi, I'm Yong Jian. I specialize in emissions modeling and transport systems.
And I am Jiaqing, focused on the infrastructure policy and logistic innovation.
So, what is this article all about? The researcher explores how combining sea and air freight, which is also called sea and air intermodal transport, can be smarter option for shipping between East Asia and North America, especially with Japan as a connecting hub. It is faster than sea, cheaper than air, and ideal for high-value, time-sensitive goods like electronics and textiles. The article also looks at environmental trade-offs, shifting from all air to sea and air, which can reduce emission by switching from sea to sea and air inside race them.
What really stood out to me from the article is how sea and air transport improves supply chain flexibility. In today's global trade, it is not just about speed. It is about being able to adapt when things go wrong. Sea and air gives company a kind of safety net, like something to fall back on. During the COVID-19 pandemic, most international passenger flights were suspended, and global air cargo capacity dropped sharply. According to IATA 2022, over 50% of air freight rely on passenger aircraft belly space. When those planes were grounded, companies had to act fast, and that's where sea and air came in. Many businesses reroute goods by sea to Japan, then flew them out to destinations like New York or Los Angeles. This wasn't just a temporary fix, it was a flexible model that helped supply chains survive when air freight collapsed. And it's not just pandemics. So events like the Russia-Ukraine war, export bans from China, or sudden US trade restrictions all show how fragile global routes can be. Having a multimodal fallback like sea and air is no longer optional. UNCTAD, UN Trade and Development 2022 highlights that multimodal strategies, especially sea and air, are key to build the supply chain resilience. Another issue is regional imbalance. Some airports are overcrowded while others are underused. So sea and air gives company the flexibility to route cargo through ports like Osaka or Kobe, depending on congestion and handling time. So in the end, it is not just about saving time or cost. Sea and air helps create a smarter, more shock-resistant logistic network, one that can handle real-world disruption. So that's why I see it as a strategic, future-ready solution.
Alright, another strong point we agree with is that the sea and air transport offers both environmental and cost advantages. Let's start with the emissions. According to the Mackinnon 2018, air freight emits around 500 grams of CO2 per ton kilometers, while the ocean freight emits only 10 to 40 grams. So, shifting part of the shipment from air to sea can significantly reduce the carbon footprint, helping the countries and companies to meet the global climate targets. This also supports the SDG 13 climate action under the United Nations goals. And importantly, sea and air remains faster than sea only. while still being cleaner than full air freight. Now, let's talk about cost. Rodrigo 2020 notes that the air freight is typically 4 to 5 times more expensive than the sea freight. For a business moving high-value goods, sea and air strike a better balance between cost and speed. So we take the DHL Global Forwarding for example. They move electronics and fashion by shipping from Shenzhen to hub like the Dubai or Singapore, then flying to the Europe or the US. This helps to manage the season peaks like the Black Friday or the Chinese New Year, when the air freight gets expensive and capacity tightened. Another case is the Lufthansa Cargo, who partnered with the Yamato Logistics to launch sea and air routes from Japan. With upgrades like the Kobe Airport's internationalizations by the 2030, this system is set to grow stronger. And it is not just for big players, even SME shipping, electronics, apparels, or perishable can benefit. In short, the sea and air isn't just a theory. It is already in use around the world as smarter, more sustainable logistics options.
Now, while the article presents some strong points, there are also some serious limitations in its model that needed to be addressed. The main issue lies in its reliance on the generalized cost model, or GCM, which reduces all logistic decisions to just time and cost. That sounds efficient, but in reality, logistics is far more complex. First, the model ignores cargo-specific needs. Perishable needs temperature control. Electronics may require anti-shock protection. Pharmaceuticals need monitoring. These factors directly affecting routing and carrier choice. Yet, the GCM treats all cargo the same. According to MDPI 2017, the oversimplification increased the risk of cargo damage, theft, or regulatory issues, especially in multimodal transport. Second, it overlooks service reliability, which can be more critical than speed. In just-in-time system, even a 1-hour delay could halt a production line. Many shippers are willing to pay more for consistent on-time service and not just fast delivery. A study by Springer 2017 found that on-time performance often drives logistic decision more than transit time. Third, the model assumes perfect transfer between sea and air, but in reality, custom delays, terminal congestion, and equipment mismatches can cause major setbacks. These aren't hypothetical, they happen all the time and they directly affect logistic outcomes. So yes, the GCM is a useful starting point, but it falls short of reflecting the real operational challenge in multimodal logistics. What we really need are decision-making tools that are more adaptive and context-aware.
Another point we disagree with is the article contradictory environmental arguments. On the hand, it says sea and air reduce emissions, but later it admits that switching from all sea to sea and air can actually increase carbon dioxide outputs. That's a major contradiction. Maritime transport through slow is one of the most carbon-efficient modes. Air freight, by contrast, is highly carbon-intensive. It handles less than 1% of global freight volumes, but contributes around 7% of freight emissions. So even a short air leg like from Japan to United States can easily offset the environmental savings made earlier. That's why sea and air is not automatically green, because its impact depends on what it replaces. The second issue is the article's assumptions that all transport takes 24 hours. This is just not realistic because transit time varies with distance, customs, stopovers, and weather. A direct flight from Tokyo to Los Angeles might take 10 hours, but road flights via Singapore or Anchorage could double that. This example shows using a fixed time for all routes oversimplifies reality and could misguide logistic decisions. A better models would include real-time delays, dynamic routings, and region-specific data. In short, while C&A has potentials, a model's environmental and time assumptions are too simplified to trust blindly.
Now, I will walk you through our recommendation and conclusion for improving sea and air intermodal transport between East Asia and North America. And let's start with our recommendation. First, for government and policymakers, we suggest stronger environment policy to guide model shift. Current carbon tax aren't enough to discourage switching from all sea to sea and air, something that can actually raise emissions. So we propose two actions. One, raise carbon pricing for high emission modes. And two, offer financial incentive for switching from air freight to sea and air, which is a cleaner option. Government should always support pilot project and logistic innovation hub, especially in Japan, to test out policy that encourage sea and air without sacrificing sustainability goals. Second, port and airport authorities, particularly in Japan, should invest in an integrated logistic infrastructure. One major bottleneck is a slow transfer time between sea and air caused by the custom delay, poor physical connectivity, and low handling capacity. And to address this, we recommend building the bonded logistic zone with digital document system, real-time tracking, and high-speed link between port and airport. Kobe, where the port and airport are just 5 km apart, is a strong candidate. With the right investment, it could become a key sea and air hub working alongside Osaka and Tokyo. And third, logistic provider and UDPL should treat sea and air as a core option, not just a backup. The pandemic and global tension have shown how important it is to diversify supply chains. And sea and air offers smart middle ground faster than sea, cheaper than air, ideal for high-value, time-sensitive goods like electronic, apparels, and perishables. These companies should also educate their customers, especially small middle enterprise, on when and how sea and air make the most sense. And finally, we urge research institutions to improve transport decision tools. The generalized cost model is helpful, but it leaves out real-world factors like service reliability, cargo sensitivity, or risk at the transfer point. In the future, AI-based model with real-time risk assessment could give stakeholders a clearer picture of when sea and air is the best option. And together this strategy can help sea and air move from a niche solution to mainstream transport models. And now to the conclude. This study looked at how sea and air transport can bridge the gap between speed, cost, and sustainability. It's not a universal solution, but when used wisely, especially between hubs like Kaohsiung or Hong Kong to New York or LA via Japan, it can deliver cost saving, faster transit, and lower emissions. However, there's a trade-off. While shifting from air to sea and air can help cut emissions, by replacing sea freight with sea and air can increase the carbon footprint. And that's why targeted policy, better infrastructure, and smarter models are crucial. And this report provides value to multiple stakeholders. For government, it is a roadmap for greener freight. And for logistics firm, it is a flexible and practical solutions. And for infrastructure planner, it shows how where investment counts. And for researcher, it highlights the need for more advanced models. In short, sea and air is no longer just a backup plan. It is a smart strategy tool for building resilience and sustainability global supply chain. And thank you for listening.
C&A gives logistics a powerful backup during unpredictable times.
It balances the speed, cost, and sustainability in the real-world supply chain.
But decision must go beyond time and cost models.
We need data-driven planning that reflects actual risks.
Sea and air is not just a backup, it is a smart strategy for the future.
That brings us to the end of today's Global Transport News Specials. As global supply chain face rising disruption, cost pressure, and environmental demands, sea and air offers more than convenience, it offers resilience. With better infrastructure, smarter tools, and clearer policies, the future of logistics is clearly multimodal. I'm Chen Feng. Thanks for watching.